The different Zoids animes. So, over the course of Zoids' 40-year run, we've had 7 different animes. We're going to go over them from oldest to newest. I should specify, though, that Zoids rarely shares continuity with other Zoids, so you can watch any anime in any order you like. Now, the first Zoids anime we got was Zoids Chaotic Century, starting in 1999. Stars a young man named Van Flyheit, and he accidentally stumbles across a strange wild Zoid named Zeke and an amnesia-ridden blonde named Fiona. They go on an adventure in his shield liger to stop the oncoming war between the Helic Republic and the Gylos Empire, and to unlock the secret of Fiona's memories. It's 60-some-odd episodes, so it takes a while to get through, and it features a time skip, which is pretty cool. Zoids Chaotic Century is the first season, and Zoids Guardian Force is the second season. Next up, we have the second Zoids anime, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with because it played on Toonami quite a few times back in the day, Zoids New Century Zero. Zoids New Century stars a strange hobo man named BitCloud. He accidentally stumbles into the cockpit of the Liger Zero and ends up working for the Blitz team because he is illiterate and refuses to read any contracts that are put before him and simply signs his life away. It's only 26 episodes, so it'll leave you wanting more. I really wish we had a second season. The animation is definitely an upgrade from Zoids Chaotic Century. The characters are bright, fun, just wish we had more. The third anime, Zoids Fusers. It's kind of the black sheep of the Zoids animes. It stars a young man named RD, who is voiced, oddly enough, by Harry Champ from the previous anime. And it starts off somewhat like New Century with a tournament-based thing, but it quickly devolves into a world-saving kind of thing. I won't say Fusers is terrible. If anything, I want to say it suffers from bad management. This is an anime made by Hasbro, and it seems like Hasbro couldn't quite decide what they wanted to do with it, so the plot line seems to be kind of all over the place. But I would still say it's worth a watch, even if the animation is a downgrade from the previous. Next up, the fourth anime, Zoids Genesis. It stars a young man named Ruji, who kind of looks like a Digimon protagonist a little bit with them goggles. He stumbles across a Murasame Liger, which is a Liger with a big katana on its back. And he goes on an adventure to stop the oncoming war from the Degald Empire, stop the Biozoids, and save his hometown from certain destruction. My only gripe with Zoids Genesis is I think it's too long. It's 50 episodes, and I feel like the plot could have been resolved in closer to 30. And also, the English dub seems mythical. It does seem to exist, but the studio that has it has no intention of ever releasing it, so you'll have to watch an English sub. Next up, the fifth anime, Zoids Wild. Big hit in Japan. It's been pumping so much new blood into the fandom, which we desperately needed. It stars a young man named Arashi here with its funny hair and hat. It has kind of a Beyblade aesthetic kind of going on for the characters, but don't let that fool you. This is the only Zoids anime where they start killing off good guys. In a nutshell, this anime stars Arashi. He goes on an adventure for the sake of having an adventure, kind of like Luffy. He just wants to have an adventure for the sake of having an adventure. And he goes with his wild liger, but he quickly discovers that he needs to also stop the oncoming advances from the Death Metal Empire. My favorite villain is in this series, Gallagher. Absolutely psychotic villain, but he is great. If I only had one gripe about this, it's that the Netflix version, the Netflix/Hasbro dub of this, censored it so bad it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. The censorship was so bad, the fandom was a bit confused where one character went because they censored so heavily they didn't realize he was dead. Still worth a watch, but watch it in the Southeastern Asian English dub or watch it English sub. Definitely avoid the Hasbro dub. Sorry guys, you get a good job voice acting, but the censorship, it's too much. Next up, the sixth Zoids anime, Zoids Wild Zero. Despite the name, it actually doesn't share a universe with Zoids Wild. It is its own universe. It stars Leo Conrad, our guy with pink hair here. I like Leo. He's a pretty fun guy. It is actually a spiritual successor to Zoids Chaotic Century. So if you enjoyed Zoids Chaotic Century, you'll most likely enjoy Zoids Wild Zero as well. It's got some of my favorite new-gen Zoids like Omega Rex, Geno Spino, Rising Liger, some really great Zoid designs in here. It is a little bit annoying to find. You might have to find some torrents or some sketchy anime sites to stream it on because for some reason Zoids isn't on streaming platforms right now. I know, it's a pain. And finally, the seventh anime, Zoids Senki. If you can even really call it an anime, it's really just a glorified set of commercials. It's just 3 to 5 minute episodes of HD Zoids battle action. There's like no named characters, just HD Zoids beating the crap out of each other, and sometimes that's all you need. And that's all the animes for now. It is the 40th anniversary of Zoids this year, so I'm really hoping by the end of the year we'll get an announcement of some kind of new Zoids media, but right now all we can do is dream.